Hi, this is Lance. I'm really excited about what I want to share with you guys right now. The Victorinox Farmer. This is an iconic brand. Most people have heard of Victorinox. Most people are familiar with the little red Swiss Army knives. This is kind of a special model. It's not seen very often, and it's the epitome of Victorinox ingenuity and quality and utility. It's just the perfect little pocket knife. Everybody needs a knife on them, whether you are a lady that carries it in your purse or you keep one in your pocket. I always keep one on a string. There's a little ring right here, and you can tie it to a paracord. That with a adjustable end wrench, I have a much more useful combination than carrying a Leatherman or some sort of multi-tool. The Victorinox Farmer is actually a military grade knife that was made by the Swiss for use by Swiss soldiers. It's not seen that often, and you'll be able to identify it by the aluminum handles. They call the handles A-locks. You've seen probably the red-handled ones, and those are just kind of a lighter duty version. They have similar tools, but not up to the same heavy-duty standards of this. On this particular knife, the blade is thicker than the red-handled ones. All the other tools are thicker. It's a really strong knife. So getting into the knife itself, what you have here is a small, pretty compact pocket knife. You can see what it looks like in my hand here. It's smooth all the way around. There's no rough edges. There's this one little protrusion where the ring clips on, which again is great, so you can tie it to yourself. You don't lose it, but you can easily keep it slipped into a pocket. It's not a bulky thing. I don't really like pocket knives that are big and angular and have awkward angles, and they're just not very fun to carry. You can also carry it in a little sheath if you like to wear stuff on your belt. I like to have it in my pocket myself. With this particular knife, you have one main blade about 3 inches long. You have a beautifully machined saw that'll cut wood, it'll cut plastic. I used one of these to saw open the pelvis of a deer when I didn't have any other saw around and we had to butcher a deer. There's a can opener here with a little screwdriver on the end, which is a flat screwdriver but works perfect for Phillips screws. When I used to spend a lot of time fooling around with cars, I would use this tool all the time. Great little screwdriver that fits most Phillips screws. Here you have a can opener, and then it has a big full-size screwdriver, flat-bladed screwdriver, and that's very heavy duty. You can turn it at this angle here, and then you can get a lot of leverage when you work it, or you can open it up this way. And a really neat tool also is this awl. It's much more well designed and more heavy duty than the other Victorinox knives. You can actually drill plastic, you can drill holes in wood, and I've reamed small soft metal like brass or copper. If you have a hole and you need to enlarge it a little bit, you can use that on that. Regarding the manufacture of this knife, this is where things really shine. Most knives nowadays are not really good quality. The stuff from China is really poor quality. They get loose, they fall apart. There's some wonderful knives made in America, very heavy duty, last a long time. But as far as a knife that has all of these features, has this nice shape, it's just a nice easy knife to carry, this is the highest quality version of anything like this I've ever seen. I wouldn't even consider any other type of multi-tool of this sort other than Victorinox. The knife is manufactured with rivets that are actually the type of rivets that are used in aerospace. They're very, very strong. They're not going to come apart. The scales, the handle itself is never going to come off. If you were to just try to break the knife, you'd probably end up breaking or bending the blade before the joint came apart. Another thing that's really neat, it's hard to see, and this was actually pointed out to me by a friend of mine that's a very brilliant machinist, and he bought one of these knives from me, and he took it apart and studied it. He came back in the next day, he was all excited. He couldn't believe how ingeniously well it was made. And what it is, there's an aluminum handle on here, but inside of that aluminum handle, probably about 1/16 of an inch thick, is a hardened steel liner. So there's another handle within this handle, and that steel liner acts as the bearing surface against all of these blades. So if you get sand in there, if you get grit in there, if you fail to oil it, you should put a drop of oil in it once in a while. I never do, most people don't. It doesn't matter, it's still going to keep working for a really long time. There's just very difficult for this knife to ever wear out. So you have all of these tools, they all snap shut with authority, no weak springs. I've never had one where the spring gets weak, you can open up one tool at a time. It's not like some of the multi-tools where they're kind of complicated and you gotta pull part of it open to get to another part. Great knife. This is a knife that if it cost $500, I would own one. The beauty of it is they're less than 50 bucks. They're ridiculously underpriced. You have no reason not to keep one of these around. Keep a couple of them around. They're fantastic knives. The Victorinox Farmer.